to continue to compete and hopefully finish their seasons on time. This week, Piqua City Schools received a letter from the Miami County Health Department expressing their concern with following the guidelines of social distancing and wearing masks.
Hello everybody, I'm Dwayne Bachman along with Doug Yount, and we welcome you to Alexander Stadium Perk Field for tonight's Miami Valley Conference contest between the Indians of Piqua and Stebbins. Both teams are undefeated after 3 weeks of the 2020 season, visitors holding victories over West Carrollton, Sidney, and Xenia, while the Indians of Piqua own victories over Troy, Vandalia, Butler, and Greenville. On behalf of the Piqua High School Athletic Department and the Miami Valley League, we're pleased that you've joined us for tonight's Piqua-Stebbins matchup. The Miami Valley League prides itself on the concept of fair play, ethical conduct, and respect to their opponents before, during, and after all athletic contests, remembering that these are learning experiences for all of these student athletes. You'll be watching high school athletes here tonight who will recognize the importance of a friendly rivalry and exemplary sportsmanship, the cornerstone of interscholastic athletics. Good evening, everybody. Dwayne Bachman, Doug Yount with you in what we think is going to be an awfully good ball game. Doug Yount, how about the starting lineups for Piqua and Stebbins?
Yeah, Dwayne, the starting defense for Stebbins is going to be at defensive end. It's going to be Dalton King at 6', 225, junior. Defensive tackle, Jerry Jackson, 5'10", 210, senior. And Damian Lowry, 6'2", 270, senior. And Therese Lattimore, 6'2", 180, junior. The linebackers, they got three linebackers. They got Braden Pennington at 6'1", 190, senior. Marvelous Rutledge, love that name, 6', 195, senior. Dan Johnson at 6', 190, senior. And in the defensive backfield is Rayvon Harris, a 5'10", freshman, 160. Charlie Blanton, 5'7", 160, junior. Jeremy Holloway, a 6'4", 180, senior. And Jarvis Mack Brown, 6'4", 150. And then the starting offense for Piqua is going to be at tackle, Wyatt Dobbins, 6'1", 251, junior. Caleb Lyons, a 6'4", 288, junior. Zach McGuire, a 6'1", 315, junior at center. And Jacob Hepner at guard, 6'2", 187, senior. And Anson Cox, 6'5", 253, sophomore at tackle. Brady Uhl is in the backfield as the quarterback at 5'11", 161, sophomore. Blaine Uhl at 6'4", 198, senior is one of the wideouts. Garrett Shrub at 6'4", 186, senior is the other wideout. And then the running back core, which we have several of them, but you got Jarrell Lewis back there, a senior at 6'2", 252, and Karan Coleman at 5'10", 187, and he is a senior.
Those are your starting lineups for Piqua and Stebbins. And since both teams are Indians, we're going to be a little more specific in our calling. It'll be Piqua and Stebbins. Again, Doug, let's talk a little bit about this ball game, because you've accumulated some statistics that indicate that when you look at the offense and you look at the defense of both teams, there's a little difference. Give us some of those numbers that you shared with me.
Yeah, basically the Stebbins offense is the 7th ranked offense in the MVL, and Piqua's offense is the 2nd rated in the MVL. Defensive-wise, Piqua is ranked 3rd in the MVL, and Stebbins is ranked 6th in the MVL. As we talked before we went on air, Dwayne, you know, Stebbins came from behind in most of these ball games that they had to play from, and they're giving up 22 points a game, and they're averaging 25 points a game. Whereas Piqua, they've been on quite a run on the offensive side of the ball at 39 points a game, but only giving up 9 points on defense.
Well, again, when you look at the numbers, the 3-0 record is just a little misleading, because you have to look at how many points you've scored, how many points you've given up, a little bit in favor of the Piqua Indians tonight. While we're waiting for the officials to go through the coin toss, who are the officials for tonight's game, Doug?
Yeah, the officials are, the referee is Greg Strickland, the lineman is Jack Brooks, line judge is Chris Brankham. The umpire is Sean Isaac, and the back judge is Jacob Henson.
Those are your officials. They're at the midfield right now with the coin toss, and we'll let you know how that comes out. Again, the coin toss is a little different this year with the with the virus thing, we only have 2 officials allowed in that huddle, and that's the referee and the umpire. We have a player from each team. The toss has been made. Doug, what do you think happened when they tossed the coin?
It looks to me like Stebbins won it, and they're elected, and Piqua will be receiving.
Okay, that's how it's going to be when we kick it off. But right now, let's talk a little bit more about this ball game. Again, we have seen the Indians do very, very well. And again, opening night against Troy, second time around against Vandalia Butler, and last Friday night against Greenville. However, when we look at the opponents tonight, they've won 3 games, have come back from double digits in all 3 games. They ended up beating West Carrollton 28-25. They beat Sydney 22-20, and they beat Xenia 26-20. So the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't, Dwayne. And plus, that's a combined record of 1-7 for the opponents that Stebbins have faced. So they've outscored the opponents 76-68, whereas Piqua, like you said, they beat Troy 26-10, Butler 43-18, and Greenville 49-0. So again, outscored the opponents 118-28, and a combined record of those 3 were 2-7. So, but we got Tip City on the horizon next week, but you got to get through this week first. That's going to be a real stout test, but we'll see how this ball game goes.
Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect here at Alexander Stadium. We were talking earlier with Chip Hare. Alexander Stadium has been a very, very, very popular football playoff site over the many years. And again, as we were told in the notes from Chip Hare, some of the information about playoffs is starting to find its way to the website of ohsaa.org. So if you're interested in following that, some of the information is being posted. We were told today we're going to be getting the information on the various regions and the teams in those various regions very, very shortly. And again, I tend to think, Doug, when you look at the playoff situation, I tend to think it's going to be very, very interesting, simply because Piqua should, with any kind of luck at all, end up being getting a first round bye.
Yeah, I would agree, Dwayne. I mean, possibly they could be 6-0, 5-1, but the next 3 weeks, you want to peak at the right time. And from what I've seen over the first 3 games, they've really come out focused. Penalties have been a little bit of an issue with them, but if they can clean that up and just continue to do what they're doing on offense and having a balanced attack, I think they're going to be okay.
Again, next week the Indians are going to travel to Tip City. It would appear to me that could be a very, very interesting contest at Tip City. So Tip City always very, very competitive, and that can be a big one. And then we finish up with Sydney at Sydney, and AJ tells me that there's a chance that we might be at that Sydney contest on the last game of the regular season, which of course is a 6-season schedule. So again, glad you've joined us tonight. It ought to be a dandy. We're waiting for both teams to come out on the field. We're going to have the national anthem, and then we're going to kick this one off. But right now, we need to talk a little bit more about some of the things that are different about a football game this year. We were talking about it last week when Bob Ruby was with me, that if you notice carefully, the center, the ball, the guy who hikes the ball, has always got his hands on the ball. And if you look closely, you might say, well, maybe the center has the ball because we have a change in possession. No, that's not the case. One of the new protocols is the center of the team that has the ball, the center is supposed to handle it. The ball should not be handled by the officials any more than absolutely necessary. That's one that escaped me after the Troy game when I kept saying the center. I thought to myself, goodness, we having all these interceptions, we haven't fumbled. Seems like we're changing that ball all the time. But that's one of the things that basically have to be taken into consideration again. But for those of you who have been with us, I think you're aware that we are not in the press box at Alexander Stadium. We're in the Channel 5 laboratory at Piqua High School, and we're looking at a screen and going to bring you the play-by-play by looking at what's happening on the playing surface, and we're just a few minutes away from the kickoff. Doug, what who can we look for from the opponents, the Stebbins Indians, as we look at this ball game? Who think we're going to hear a lot of?
Well, Dwayne, when I look kind of at the stats, obviously we don't get game film and break it down and stuff like that, but Nate Keller, their quarterback, he's definitely a dual threat quarterback. He's 31 of 60 passing for 338 yards, 51% completion rate, but he's got 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So that ratio is there. But he also has 2 rushing touchdowns for 217 yards on 56 carries. So he's actually their leading ball carrier. And then also on offense, their running back, Marvelous Rutledge, 32 carries for 208 yards. He's averaging about 6.4 yards per carry, but he also has 4 touchdowns. And then on the receiving end of it, they have a Rayvon Harris, one of the receivers. He's got 2 touchdowns, 8 catches for 137 yards, and he's averaging 17.1 per catch.
So the Stebbins kids probably are as optimistic as we might find them, because they haven't been 3-0 for a while, and I think somebody was telling us that Piqua has not been 3-0 at the beginning of the season since 1999. Also told that this is the first time Stebbins has ever played here at Alexander Stadium, and also this is the first time Bill Neese has ever coached against Stebbins here at Alexander Stadium. So a few little firsts there that might be of interest to those of you who are with us this evening. Again, Stebbins came back from double digits in all 3 games to win low-scoring contests. Now let's just talk a little bit about our prediction. I'm predicting that it's going to be a low-scoring contest. I would think 4 touchdowns is probably going to win it. I tend to think that the Indians are going to have to deal with one statistic, and you mentioned it earlier, and that is turning the ball over via penalty.
Yep, you're correct. Yeah, penalties and turnovers in general are the great equalizer, Dwayne. So, I mean, if they can keep a clean game, from what I've seen for this first 3 games from the Piqua Indian offense, they've been pretty balanced. Brady Oles really protected the ball. He's really kind of more or less just ran the offense and kept it flowing. And we got a whole stable of running backs that are really taking it under their control.
Again, I think you make a good point. Offensively, we can't argue with the job that has been done by number 7, the sophomore Brady Oole. He has been nothing short of sensational. He's thrown it well, and he's thrown it not very often, but he's got 2 or 3 receivers who have got real good hands, and he's taken advantage of it. One of those happens to be his brother, the senior, along with Jared Shrub, and our passing game has been pretty good. Running game has been, I hate to say it, outstanding, but I think that would be fair. We've got 3 or 4 running backs who take turns in that backfield, and again, you might say, well, what does that do? Well, I think we found out last week against Greenville when 7 or 8 of their kids had to go both ways. Yeah. Sooner or later, it tires you out, and that was the case last Friday night, because we had, I'm trying to think, it was Karan Coleman had 2 long touchdowns called back because of penalties. So there was a lot of offense there last week. Looking at the defense, I don't think we can shortchange the defense. They've been well schooled, and again, I tend to think that we might find tonight that the defense might be just a little too strong for the offensive game plan of Stebbins.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dwayne. I think our defensive front, with Jarrell Lewis and Landon Hare, having some sacks. Both of them have had 2 or 3 sacks each, but we are going to be missing Lance Reeve Hicks again. But Caleb Lyon will be also up there in the middle of the defensive tackle, and so I think our defensive line will be pretty stout.
Well, again, we were talking about the coin toss where the protocols are basically in place here. I have a list in front of them in front of the other protocols that maybe the fans have not noticed. Well, first of all, Doug, I think we have to understand that the changes that have been made basically by the governor, Department of Health, athletic directors, OHSAA. I think we have to understand that some of these changes have been very, very hard to understand by some fans. For instance, there'll only be 1,500 people. 100 people in the stands tonight. I believe that's the maximum. And so it's not going to be a big crowd, but that's one of the things they list. You have to be 6 feet apart by family, and you got to be wearing a mask, all the things. But I think we have to understand that what has been done to protect the kids, the coaches, everybody around the program, including the fans. And I think we have to understand that what it has done has been inconvenience, but it has allowed us to play football, and that was the main thing.
For sure.
Well, let's see what happens as the Piqua band starts to come on the field. And again, we talked about a beautiful night for football. I'm not so sure that's fair. I would call this a perfect night for football, Doug Young.
It is, Dwayne. It is. It's a little bit breezy, and it's going to have a little coolness to the air. So definitely a nice fall evening for a ball game.
Well, again, we're glad that you've joined us. Back to my list of things that are different because of the virus situation. For instance, people will notice that the halftime has been reduced from 20 minutes to 10 minutes. And there's a box, if you can see it, and you will during the course of the ball game, there's a box on the sideline that all of the non-players have to stay within. However, to keep the non-players 6 feet apart from each other, that box has been lengthened, and so we're going to have players and coaches within the 2 20-yard lines instead of the 2 35-yard lines. That's just the way it is. One of the things that we noticed at Vandalia Butler is the fact that one of the protocols, the visiting team is not allowed to have access to a locker room.
That's correct.
So the visiting team comes in their bus, they get off the bus, they head for their sideline, a little bit different, always for a reason, and I can't really think there's any reason to dispute why that's happening. Here's one, Doug, I don't know if you've noticed it. Well, we talked about the game football. The game football will be disinfected regularly during the game. So there's another one, and each player will get water, equipment, and towels from their own supply. You can go down the sideline and see a half-empty bottle of water and have a slug of water because you've got your own and you can't share it, and I understand all of that as well. Again, we noticed last night after the volleyball game here that the two teams did not shake hands after the game, but again, that's another one of the rules. No handshakes, no high fives, and those things like that. So again, one of the things that also is noticeable is the fact that we're going to see the Piqua band here tonight. We are not going to see the visiting team band. In other words, just the visiting team band is going to have to wait until their turn. The Piqua band is right now out on the playing surface. We're waiting for the Stebbins Indians to come from the far sideline, and that's just about what we're ready to see. Boy, you can see that picture. At least we can see the picture if you're in the stands or if you're on home. It is a perfect night for football. It's just a little warmish perhaps, but not by much.
Well, that wind's coming out of the north too, Dwayne. We're seeing that too. So with the flags blowing there.
It's just going to be a perfect night for football. We think we're going to have a pretty good ball game. Both teams 3-0. The numbers would suggest that Piqua's defense and offense might be a little stronger than that of Stebbins, but that's why we're going to kick it off in about 5 minutes, and we're going to find out who is the strongest. Here come the Stebbins Indians from the far side. They're going to head for the sideline on the Alexander Stadium east side, so they're coming on, and
you treat them like you're nothing. I can't help the way you treat me. 1 a.m. I said I loved you. You say I'm just like the movies. Well, how do you keep your conscience clear? You break it up, carry on your wire. You break it
Right there you see Landon Hayes here in action. Piqua versus Stebbins. It ought to be a good one, both teams 3-0. And here come the Indians right to the 50-yard line. They'll line up, and then we're going to have the national anthem. And so we're glad that you've joined us, Dwayne Bachman and Doug Yonk. And now we're waiting for everybody to get in their position. Here come the Indians lining up against the sideline. Across the way we had Stebbins players line up on their sideline. And then we're going to have the national anthem. Everybody here is asked to stand for that anthem offered by the Piqua High School Marching Band.
Just one more reminder, fans, that you must have a reserve ticket to sit in the reserved section, which are blue seats. General admission seating is open to anyone in the red sections. Thank you for your help in ensuring we are keeping our reserved sections for our season ticket holders.
Welcome back to Alexander Stadium Field. Dwayne Bachman and Doug Yonk. We're just a minute or two away from kicking the ball off here on a Tuesday night for high school football. Doug Yonk, I don't know what you think. I tend to think we're going to have a contested contest. I really would be less than honest by saying I think the Indians are basically too deep, too big, and a little too strong against these Stebbins Indians to beat them over the long fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Be sure to purchase your fall sports program tonight. There are pictures of all the fall high school athletic teams. There are schedules for the high school teams, and of course the popular senior feature, which highlights all of the fall senior athletes throughout the season. Ensures today before they sell out. Only 200 available tonight.
Once they hit that hole, they can break it at any time.
Many sponsors of the program and video board this season. Their support allows Piqua to showcase the best program in the state of Ohio. Thank you, Piqua, for supporting our athletes.
In just a moment.
Number 3, decided not to be able to run 10 or 10 feet for the Indians.
Going to Alexander Stadium, waiting now for the referee, Greg Strickland, to give Dozier the whistle, and we're going to find out what
kicking off for the Stebbins Indians, number 13, Sean Dozier.
The ball falls on the kicking tee, so Dozier's going to have to put it back on the tee and try it again.
Like I said, Dwayne, that Wayne was coming out of that north, so we'll see how that if that's a factor as the night goes on.
Here's the whistle, and here's the kick. And we're underway. Kick's going to go down to about the 12-yard line. That's Medley. Medley's going to go around the right side.
Josiah Medley on the return. Here on the stop for the Stebbins Indians, number 5, Aiden Jones.
Brady going to bring them out as he has so well these first 3 games. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do, running versus passing, because Doug Young, the running and passing game, have been a pretty lethal combination for the Indians.
Yep, no question about it, Dwayne. I think they used the run to set up the pass for sure. And I think we're going to see a steady diet of that. But who knows? They got 3 wides right now.
Brady Earl waiting for the snap. He's in the shotgun. Two right off from the front side, 2 pointing in. There's a pitch out going over to Ron Coleman. Ron Coleman gets above the...
Number 25, Karan Coleman, your ball carrier.
He's dropped, and I think he's dropped down there.
Yeah, he's tackled by number 9 there, Marvelous Rutledge.
Coleman will take up 7 yards before being brought down by number 9, Marvelous Rutledge.
One of the game, you remember last Friday night against Greenville, he had the first play from scrimmage, went 60 yards, but they called it back because of a penalty. Here we go, 2nd down and 6 for the Indians. I'm going to have to say Piqua. 2nd down and 6 for Piqua. Ooh, waiting for the snap. He's in the shotgun. Hands it off this time to Coleman again. Coleman's going to get to the 30-yard line, but
Coleman, your ball carrier.
About 3 yards to go, Dwayne, I think.
Let's see what happens.
And on the stop for the Stebbins Indians, number 24, Jerry Jackson.
Opening minutes of the first quarter. Players looking towards the Piqua sideline for a play. Here we go. Ooh. He's going to be running off of Coleman. Coleman this time, I think they will let up.
Coleman, your ball carrier, picking up 1st down and yardage for the Indians.
Coleman gets the 1st down. They're going to put the ball at about the 35-yard line.
So leading the charge
that tackle was made by Dalton
Indians.
King for the Stebbins Indians.
So now the Indians have it 1st and 10. They waste no time getting to the line of scrimmage. It's what you might call a no-huddle offense.
Yeah, looks like they got scripted plays, Dwayne, that they're doing.
Waiting now for Uhl to get the snap. He's got it. Goes around the right side, trying to turn the corner. Going to run out of room. He's going to be dropped at about the 35-yard line. If I'm not mistaken, that's just about where we started this. So it looks like it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Piqua.
Yeah, and he was dropped there by Marvelous Rutledge again. And as we talked about earlier, Dwayne, he seems to be their ringleader on defense with 17 tackles.
2nd down and 10. Play coming in from the Piqua sideline. We haven't seen Brady put it in the air, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that right now at 2nd down and 10. 9 minutes, 38 seconds left to go, first quarter. The Indians of Piqua have owned the football, but the Stebbins Indians are trying to take it away and get a chance to do something offensively themselves. Here come the Indians ready now for the snap.
Dwayne, they got 4 wide out there now, too.
Here comes Uhl. Uhl's going to pass to the left flat. Going to get it over to number 5, and that number 5 is Corey Miller. Corey Miller is going to get it well above the sticks. Going to be a 1st and 10 for Piqua. Corey Miller from Brady Uhl. Quickly, Indians at the line of scrimmage, not giving the Stebbins Indians a chance to regroup. 1st and 10. Hand off to Karan Coleman. Coleman, he gets about 6 yards. Gets inside the 40-yard line. Looks like it might be about the 39-yard line. And the Indians are going to have it 2nd down. Let's call it 2nd down and 4. Let's call it 2nd down and 4.
I tell you, Dwayne, I like this no-huddle offense, how they're just out there and really scripting it and moving it down the field.
And it can wear you out over the long haul, too.
For sure.
Here's Uhl, this time sprinting out to the left side, looking to the right side, trying to find the receiver, couldn't do it.
Dwayne, I think it was high for the intended receiver and caught by number 30, Patton, but was his feet inbound.
I believe the signal from the sideline was an incomplete pass, but both of the officials are conferring about that because I tend to think that the problem was the original receiver didn't have a chance for it, but the one behind him did.
Yep.
Now let's see what the ruling is going to be. And I'm not so sure right now anybody knows because the officials are huddling around the referee, Greg Strickland, and we still don't have a signal, but we'll get one.
But yeah, that ball was tipped, Dwayne, so but like I said, I don't believe Patton was able to get his feet in bounds. It looks like it's back at the original line of scrimmage.
And if that's the case, it's going to be 2nd down and 4. And let's see if that's the call. We can't hear the voice of Greg Strickland, but the Indians are back on 2nd down and 4, so obviously it was an incomplete pass. Quickly, Indians ready to go. 2 wide outs to the near side, 1 to the top side. Opening minutes of the first quarter. Uhl hands it off to Coleman. I think that was Coleman, or was it Medley? We'll see who gets off the bottom.
That was Coleman.
It was Coleman. Yeah. Coleman got enough for a first down, so the Indians continue to move it offensively. And again, this is what we talked about. Will the Piqua Indians have too much depth and speed that it might be a telling factor before this one's over. 1st and 10, 8:46 left to go, first quarter. Here comes Uhl. Uhl's going to throw it over the middle. He's got
Jarrell Lewis.
He's got Jarrell Lewis. Jarrell Lewis is a low. He goes to the far side and makes it into the end zone. Just barely squeeze it into the end zone. So Jarrell Lewis on a pass from Brady Uhl is going to be responsible for the first 6 points of this game. Jarrell Lewis, boy, he does it all.
Well, I tell you what, Dwayne, that was a real nice fake, a little play action, and he caught him right up the middle, and he just took it there to the corner of the end zone.
And now we're going to have Jackson Trombley try to make it 7-0. Boy, that was a awfully good offensive play, and Uhl to Jarrell Lewis. Here's the kick by Trombley. It's up. It is good. So with 8:32 left to go in the first quarter, the Indians own an early 7-0 lead. Glad you've joined us. That didn't take very long.
Well, Dwayne, it was about a 4-minute drive, and it took about 8 plays, so a nice little combination of run and pass that they did. And, of course, with the no huddle.
That pass from Uhl to Jarrell Lewis, boy, he just barely squeezed in to the far side of the end zone. So now we're going to have Trombley kick it away, and we said it before, we'll say it again. Jackson Trombley has one of the strong legs in the Miami Valley, and if he don't kick it in the end zone for a touchback, he's a little disappointed in himself, but that has not been the case. He has got a major league leg, only a sophomore. Waiting now for Greg Strickland to give Trombley the sign, and here comes the kick. Stebbins going to get the ball for the first time this evening, but it didn't take long for them to be on the short end of a 7-0 advantage. Here we go. Here's the kick by number 18. The kick is going deep. It's going to, boy, it didn't go as deep as we thought. He picked it off at about the 5-yard line, and that's going to be picked off by, I think, was that Aiden Jones?
That was number 6. Yep, that was number 6 for Stebbins. Dwayne, you're
that was Rayvon Harris.
Yep, Rayvon Harris. Yep.
Rayvon Harris gets it all the way up to about the, well, let's see where they're going to spot the football. It's going to be about to the 44-yard line. Rayvon Harris is only a freshman for Stebbins. Let's see now what the Stebbins Indians do offensively.
Dwayne, that was a real nice return by him and taking it out there to the 44. So he took it about at the 5-yard line. As we mentioned, though, Jackson was kicking into the wind onto that one.
Nate Keller's the quarterback. He's going to be in the shotgun. He's waiting for the snap. He hands it off. He's going to hand it off this time to the other running back. I believe that might have been. Is that number 5? I think it was.
That's number 9. That's
number 9.
Yep.
Okay, that's Marvelous Rutledge, 6 foot and 195-pound senior, and he is regarded as one of the fine runners in the Miami Valley League division. 2nd down and 9, but again, he might be good, but that defensive line of Piqua stopped him for just 1 yard.
For sure.
7:50 left to go, first quarter. Again, Keller waiting for the snap. Keller going to have a pass off to the left flat, headed for number 10. That's Adrian Norton. Adrian Norton picks it up, gets it to about the, let's call it the 47-yard line of the Indians. It's going to be third down and 2.
And Medley was in on the tack on that, Dwayne.
3rd and 2, and Stebbins Indians are doing the same thing Piqua. They're looking towards the sideline for a play, and Nate Keller's got it. And here comes the 3rd and 2, a pretty big play. Indians from Piqua would like to take it away. Let's see what happens. Handoff goes to the running back, and he's going to have enough for a first down. He's getting down to about the 41-yard line. Getting off the stack is, I believe that's number 9 again, Marvelous Rutledge.
Yeah, he was stopped by number 85, Landon Hare.
1st and 10, so Stebbins offensively showing some signs here of wanting to make this a 7-7 game. Waiting now, Keller looking to the sideline to his head coach, Greg Bonifay. Here's the snap. Quarterback Keller back to on the left flat, gets it to Aiden Jones. Aiden Jones picks it off, but did they rule? Yeah, they ruled out a completed pass and a first down. So right now, Doug, we might have been concerned about the offense of Stebbins, but so far they have done a nice job of moving the ball against this spotted defense from Piqua.
Dwayne, I'll tell you, their offensive line is really big, and they got like 3 seniors on it, so it looks like they're kind of controlling that a little bit right now.
Okay, 1st and 10, ball resting on the Piqua 29-yard line. Again, Keller with the snap. Going to go back to pass, looking downfield. Now he's getting all kinds of pressure, sacked for a loss. Keller sacked for a loss. Who's on the bottom of that stack? 67. Does that be Caleb Lyons along with, and I think number 6 is also there. And of course, that's Garrett Shrub.
Well, actually, Dwayne, I think it was. I think we ended up having Jarrell Lewis finish him off. But you're right, Caleb Lyons got him. Got an arm on him first.
So the losses of 4. 2nd down and 14. Clock continues to run with 5:44 left to go. First quarter. Piqua with a 7-0 advantage. Now let's see what the Stebbins Indians do. 2nd down and 14. Nate Keller with the snap. He's going to pass to the right flat. He's going to pass it to Aiden Jones. Aiden Jones. They might rule Aiden Jones fumbled. Let's see if that's the call. If that's the call, the Indians might have picked that one off. And that's exactly the call. The Indians recover the fumble. So if you look at turnovers, that's the first turnover of the game. It goes against the Stebbins Indians. Indians from Piqua are going to take the ball 1st and 10. That's the kind of thing that Stebbins cannot afford, Doug.
Well, you're right, Dwayne.
Giving up fumbles and penalties, and they result in scores. You find yourself on the short end of a score, and that is make it tough against this Piqua defense.
Well, and number 5 there, that for Stebbins, Aiden Jones, he took a pretty good pop right as he caught it, right to the gut, and it popped out, and the Indians fell on it.
Let's go and see what Brady Uhl is going to bring out 1st and 10. 5:20 left to go, first quarter. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Stebbins just turned it over on an Aiden Jones fumble. Uhl. Back to pass, looking across the, trying to find somebody in the middle. Incomplete, goes incomplete, going to be 2nd down. No, wait a minute, or was that complete or incomplete? Now all of a sudden the umpire is basically saying, I believe that's going to be a 2nd down and 10, so it was an incomplete pass. Uhl looking to the sideline to get a play in from Bill Nace. Here's the snap. Handoff goes to one of the running backs, but boy, the running back there on the bottom of the stack who happened to be Medley. Medley didn't have a chance to get around the corner. He was dropped for a loss. So that's going to be a big loss for the Indians as the Stebbins defense is showing us some moxie.
Yeah, you're correct, Dwayne. That one was by both their defensive ends and on that tackle with Tyrese Lattimore and Dalton King.
2nd down and 16. And we suddenly have a timeout on the field. Out on the field. You're watching Piqua High School football on the Indian Nation Station, your home for Piqua Athletics. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Alexander Stadium, Perk Field, Dwayne Bachman, Doug Yount. Piqua with a 7-0 lead right now. And again, on a perfect night for high school football, the Indians come back on the field after talking it over with Bill Nace. Indians have the ball. 2nd down and 16. Brady Uhl. Back to pass, looking to the sideline. Got Garrett Chubb.
He dropped it, Dwayne. He dropped
it. It was a low pass, but Garrett couldn't come up with it, and that was actually a 3rd down play. Now we've got a 4th down and a kicking situation for the Indians of Piqua. And that punter is number 88, Austin Burns. So Austin Burns, number 88, is going to kick it away. So again, the first touchdown was pretty easy for Piqua. The second one was not quite so easy. A little stubbornness on the part of the Stebbins defense. Waiting for Burns to kick it away. Burns gets the kick, gets it away. Going to go down to the 25-yard line, picked off by number 10, and that was Adrian Norton.
Yep.
Adrian Norton gets it back to about the 27-yard line. So Stebbins' offense is going to put it in play. They trail 7-0 as we wind down this first quarter of play. 4 minutes left.
Yeah, he didn't get much of a return on that one, Dwayne. It bounced a few times, kind of surprised he picked it up, but Stebbins has the ball there, like you said, on the 27?
27-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Indians of Stebbins High School. Their quarterback's number 17, Nate Keller, 6 foot, 165-pound junior. Let's see what Stebbins decides to do, 1st and 10. Keller back to pass, looking to the far sideline, intercepted by Piqua. Let's see who got that one. I believe it was intercepted, and again it was intercepted by number 17, Adrian Meyer.
Yep.
So the second turnover of the game for Stebbins, and the Indians get it right back in awfully good scoring position.
It looked like he tried to do a little bit of a timing pattern there, threw it up to a spot where he thought the receiver was going to be, and Meyer was right there.
So now the Indians have the ball right away after the Stebbins turnover. 4:27 left to go, first quarter. Here comes a play in from the Piqua sideline with number 7, sophomore quarterback Brady Uhl.
Looks like Dwayne now they weren't doing that hurry-up offense. Now they're sending in some of the plays from the sidelines.
2 wideouts to the top side, 2 to the near side. Uhl's going to try to run up the middle, but he didn't have much luck. Got back to the line of scrimmage, which I believe is basically right on the midfield stripe.
Yep, he brought down by Dalton King again there, defensive end for Stebbins.
There you saw the center for Piqua handling the football, putting it down, and the umpire just moving away. 2nd down, let's call it 2nd down and 10. Play coming in from the Piqua coaching staff.
Got in the backfield, you got Tanner Kemp back there. He's a speedster, Dwayne.
Here's the snap. Over to the left side. Back there is to number 5 is Corey Miller. Corey Miller gets it down to about the 40-yard line. Let's see what kind of advance he made, and we'll see. Looks to me like he's good enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10, Piqua.
That's the second time they kind of run that play to him, and it's been affected, Dwayne.
Well, let's see what happens now at 1st and 10. Indians trying to make it a 14-0 game if they can get in the end zone and kick a PAT. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do, and sends in the play to Brady Uhl. Uhl back to pass, looking to over the middle. Tries to find, yes, he found number 30, Keegan Patton, I believe. Keegan Patton takes the ball right at, and gets it all the way down to about the 17-yard line. 1st and 10, Piqua. Keegan Patton getting in on the action, Doug. Quickly. Another pass, another handoff to Karan Coleman. Karan Coleman wasted no time and gets it inside the 15 to about the 10-yard line quickly. The Indians up to the line of scrimmage again.
They're really putting the pressure on that Stebbins defense, Dwayne.
Again, Coleman gets the ball, this time a little shorter distance, but gained a couple.
And those last two plays were basically right up the middle, too, with that pass and that quick hit run.
Again, somebody jumped offside. I believe the offside call is going to go against Stebbins High School. We'll wait for the officials to tell us. Let's see whether or not they're going to. Now, if you notice closely, and I'm sure you did, the center for Piqua has the ball in his hands.
Yep.
Nobody's going to touch that thing until they get up to the line of scrimmage, so that's going to make it a penalty against the Stebbins Indians. They're going to put the ball, let's call it the 5-yard line, a little bit closer to the 5 than to the 4. 2:35 left to go, first quarter. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing, but the Piqua Indians getting ready to score. There's a handoff to the far side to number 50, and that's Keegan Patton, number 30. Keegan tries to turn the corner, didn't have much luck.
Yeah, he was wrapped up there by Tyrese Lattimore. But, Dwayne, I'm kind of looking at that defensive line for Stebbins, and they look like they're a little bit gassed, so this hurried-up offense, if we do some more of those quick pops up the middle, I think that might be able to take advantage. Let's see what they come up with.
Well, again, the Stebbins defense been on the field a lot more simply because of those 2 turnovers.
For sure.
Second down and goal to go for Piqua. Bring him up to the line of scrimmage. He's going to keep the ball. He's going to try to go off right tackle. He's going to get to the 5-yard line. So Brady Uhl calls his own number, gets it to the 5-yard line. Going to be second down and goal. 1:30 left to go, first quarter, with the Piqua Indians owning a 7-0 lead.
Got it back to the original line of scrimmage.
I said second and goal. It's third and goal here as the Indians come up to the line of scrimmage. Waiting for the snap. Jarrell Lewis in motion to the right. Scrambling over to the right side, trying to get somebody at the goal line. Did Keegan Pat? Ball was intercepted. That ball was intercepted by, I believe that was number 8, and that's Kevin Mack Brown. So the Indians turn it over deep in the Stebbins territory. That was a costly turnover for the Indians. So they give up the ball, but Stebbins is going to have it. They're going to be operating out of their own goal, out of their own end zone. So let's see what happens now. And so far in this first quarter, I think that's the third turnover by these 2 teams.
Well, and Brady Uhl, that's his first interception of the year, but that ball actually kind of hung up a little bit, was tipped, and then Patton kind of had it on his hip or shoulder, and then it looked like the Stebbins player took it right off of it.
First and 10 for Stebbins. The quarterback, Nate Keller's in the end zone. He gets it, hands it off to one of his running back. There wasn't much room there. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and I'm trying to figure out who that might have been. Was that?
I think Jarrell Lewis was in on that, as well as maybe Sam Smeezing.
Okay, and I think Marvelous Rutledge might have been the ball carrier, but they got it second down and 10. When you're second down and 10 and you're deep in your own territory, that limits how many times you can go to the playbook. Now we're waiting for a play coming in from the Stebbins sideline, and their head coach, Greg Bonifay. Quarterback Keller hands it off right up the middle, but not much luck there, Doug. Maybe you got a yard, but if you got a yard, that's about all. So the Indians' defense is being very, very stingy. That's going to make it third down.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
End of the first quarter. End of the first quarter, it's Piqua 7 and Stebbins nothing. You're watching Piqua High School football on the Indian Nation Station. Your home for Piqua Athletics.
RE/MAX has done a wonderful job on helping us find our first home together.
About our new house.
I'm moving into my dream house.
Our new home. Today we closed on the house of our future and of our dreams.
And we just purchased a home from Kathy Haney, and we would like to say that our business was truly appreciated by them.
And it was a wonderful experience.
We're the best in the business. It's because we sold it in just a few hours.
We sold our house in no time. Perfect service. We'd recommend them to anybody.
If you're in the market of buying a home, I strongly suggest to become part of the Haney team. We are, and we're Haney team members for life.
I look forward to continued years of friendship and business with Kathy.
We really appreciate all your help.
Dwayne Bachman and Doug Young back at Alexander Stadium, Perth Field. We're just about ready to start the second quarter of play. The Indians have the lead 7-0. But right now it's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Stebbins Indians as they try to get away from their own end zone.
Well, Dwayne, I tell you what, in that first quarter too, I mean, we had Piqua had 4 first downs and Stebbins had 2. So, you know, we got that, and Stebbins only had about 9 yards total of passing and a little bit of running in there. So
again, the first quarter did not come out with much offense as we might have predicted, but that's because both defenses played well and we had 3 turnovers. Here's a handoff. Keller, the quarterback, takes it around the right side, gets up to about the 7 or 8 yard line, and dropped in there by a host of blue jerseys. It's going to be 4th down. It's going to be 4th down and 8, and the punter, who is going to be Sean Dozier, coming into the ball game for the Stebbins Indians. So the Indian defense held, but when doing so, they had to give up the ball on the turnover. So right now, they're probably going to get it in pretty good field position, Doug.
yeah, I agree with you, Dwayne. The punter's going to be kicking into that win, as we mentioned. Plus, he's in his end zone. So that last play did get him out a little bit, little breathing room, but it's right about in the middle of the end zone. So we'll see what happens here.
Sean Dozier going to kick it. He is in his end zone. Now let's see what the Indians can do. They'd like to probably see whether they might be able to block this punt. It's a high snap. Dozier's got it. Left-footed kicker gets it out. It's going to be bouncing. I'm not exactly sure where it ended up, but I think it ended up. Oh boy, that didn't amount to much. So Dozier's kick was downed, and the Indians are going to have it 1st and 10 on the Stebbins 20. Well, let's call it the 23, 24 yard line. Ooh,
Yeah.
that was not what you call a boomer.
Now, that one went off the side of his foot, Dwayne, and like we said, into that win. That's not a good combination. So the Indians are in great scoring position right now, right off the bat.
Brady Uhl bringing in the Indians up of Piqua up to the line of scrimmage. Opening minutes, second quarter. Uhl. Medley. Also in the background, in the backfield with Uhl. Uhl's going to hand it off to Medley. Medley trying the right side, but got back to the line of scrimmage, and he didn't get much more than that. So, again, that was Josiah Medley. No gain. Let's call it 2nd down and 10.
Tell you what, Dwayne, they got a couple nice players on that Stebbins side that's really kind of stepped up to make the tackles. So, yeah, he absolutely got nothing on that one.
So far, you have to be impressed with the Stebbins defense.
Yeah, yep, they're playing.
So, I have a question.
2nd down and 10.
No, this is just a question because I think I was calling it something different. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So I
with the snap. Pitch out to Medley. He gets away from him, but he picks up the bounce. But by the time he got back and tried to turn the corner, too many white jerseys.
That was kind of like a combination pitch, shovel pass, whatever. But, yeah, he dropped it, Dwayne. Luckily, it came right back up in his hands.
So the Indians are going to find themselves in a 3rd down and 9 situation in the opening couple minutes here of the second quarter in what has been a very, very close game, closer than some of us may have anticipated, but the Stebbins Indians doing well for themselves here in the early going. Uhl back to pass, looking downfield. He's got somebody across the middle. It's going to be incomplete, intended. It's intended for number 11. That's Jeremy Holloway, but knocked down by number 11. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, that one was for Garrick Shrub across the middle on a crossing pattern, Dwayne, and Holloway read it and broke it up.
Let's see, on 4th down and 9, and it looks like the Indians are going to get, well, I thought it looked like Medley was going to call a timeout, but he did not, so now back to live action as Uhl all by himself in the shotgun. A big possession play here for Piqua. Uhl gets the snap back to pass. He's going to run. He's getting a little running room. He's going to have a running room that's going to get him pretty close to the first down. Let's see how close they might be. Uhl decided he couldn't find a receiver, so he ran it to about the 15-yard line, and it looks to me like that might not have been enough for a first down, and it didn't. So the Indians of Piqua turn it over to the Indians of Stebbins. I'm impressed so far by this Stebbins team, Doug.
Well, the linebacker, Dan Johnson, stepped up and just stuffed them a little bit short of it. So 4 plays and out. That couldn't have been something that they wanted to do with that prime field position.
Nate Keller is the quarterback for Stebbins. Looking over to his head coach, Greg Bonifay, for a play. We're in the opening few minutes of the second quarter. Indians with a 7-0. Indians of Piqua with a 7-0 advantage. Keller waiting for the snap. He's got it. He's going to pass. He's going to pass over the on the left side, intended for number 88. That's Aaron Bolin, but incomplete. Pretty good defensive work there by one of the Indians. Not so sure I caught the defender.
It was number 1, Tanner Kemp, and we know earlier in the year, too, he stepped in front of the pass and took it about 60 yards for a touchdown, so he read that pretty good.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. Keller out of the shotgun with the snap. Oh, he fumbled the snap, picked it up, and then is going to be a drop for a loss. The loss back all the way back to about the 10-yard line. So right now, both offenses sputtering a little, Doug.
Well, on that one, he bobbled the snap, seemed to drop it, and then Landon Hare was right there. So, yeah, good play by him.
3rd down and 16.
I've been impressed with Landon so far this year. He's really gotten in there. I think a lot of times defense or offenses are kind of keying on Jarrell Lewis, and that's kind of freeing him up a little bit, Dwayne.
It certainly has. 3rd and 16 for Stebbins. Keller at his 4-yard line, waiting for the snap. And I think the Indians might have jumped offside. Let's see if that's the call. Looked like 2 or 3 blue jerseys got a little anxious there. And that's exactly the call, offside against Piqua.
That's what we talked about in the beginning too, Dwayne. You know, let's not shoot ourselves in the foot there. We kind of had them right back where we wanted. Now they still got a way to go, but it's a little bit shorter here on the 3rd down.
3rd down. 3rd down and 11. Keller waiting for the snap for Stebbins. Oh, and then somebody moved on the Stebbins side of the ball, and I believe we're going to get a false start. And they're going to move the ball right back where it started about 25 seconds ago. So right now we're exchanging penalties, Doug, and again with 8:24 left to go in the half, Piqua with a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, you're right, Dwayne. It was one of those. There was a player in motion for Stebbins, and you know somebody just kind of got a little antsy, and they jumped and moved the ball right back.
Let's call it 3rd down and 16. Let's see what Greg Bonifay does with his offense. Keller with the snap, back to pass. No, he's going to try to run. Going to go around the left side, getting a little running room. He's going to get some of those back. He's up to about the 17-yard line. And I believe Tanner Kemp might be on the bottom of that stack with one of the blue jerseys. So that's going to make it 4th down, and Stebbins going to have to punt it away. And that's going to bring on number 13, Sean Dozier. So far, this game has been dominated by the defense, Doug.
Well, Dwayne, the first series by both of these teams, we thought it might be a shootout, but now it's kind of settled into a battle of the trenches, so to speak.
I think you're right. Dozier ready to get the snap from center. Here's the kick. The left-footed kicker. Gets it away, going to bounce at midfield, and that's exactly where it's going to die. It's going to be covered by Stebbins right at the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 with 7:14 left to go in this second quarter. Glad you joined us, Dwayne Bachman and Doug Jans, in what has been basically at this point in time a defensively dominated game, although there have been enough turnovers to make it an even contest. Now we're waiting for Brady Uhl to go to the Piqua huddle. They're up to the line of scrimmage. First and 10. Uhl hands it off to Medley. Medley gets to the line of scrimmage, back to midfield, so not much there. Right now, I'm impressed with this Stebbins team, the defense especially, Doug.
Yeah, they got some players. I mean, they got a little bit of size, and I think some of the earlier games we saw, with the exception of maybe Troy, I don't think anybody can match our size up there in the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, but it looks like Stebbins has that.
Let's see what happens with second down and 10. Uhl. He's going to hand it off this time. I believe that's going to be Medley again. Medley gets down, going to get out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Going to be awfully close for first down. Let's see if they're going to move the stakes, and I believe they are. So Medley gets a first down for Piqua. 6:25 left to go here in the first half. The Indians, with a 7-0 advantage, have had a couple opportunities, but have not been able to make the trip to the end zone. Maybe this is the one. Uhl, first and 10. The snap. Brady's got it. Brady's going to sprint out to the right side, going to try to make the turn in the corner. Didn't have enough room. He stopped short of the 40-yard line.
Yeah,
boy, that defense of Stebbins, you got to be impressed with him, Doug.
Yeah, I am, Dwayne. I tell you what, though, on that play, there just looks like there was a little confusion right from the get-go. Brady was kind of getting with both his backs, and I don't know if anybody kind of knew. And right when he went, he didn't quite make it back to the line of scrimmage either. So we're looking at 2nd and 11.
Case, loss of 1. We're waiting again. This time he's going to hand the ball off.
I believe the ball
on the ground, a fumble. The Stebbins Indians say they recovered, and I believe they did. Another turnover by the Piqua Indians, and so right now this has been, I think that's the 4th turnover of the half, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct,
so
Dwayne.
The Stebbins Indians pick it up.
Yep. Both teams have had 2 turnovers here, and that was Tyrese Lattimore picking up that loose ball. So
now let's see what the visitors from Stebbins High School do with the offensively. Piqua with a 7-0 lead, 5:49 left to go in the first half. A very, very low-scoring ball game here from Alexander Stadium, Perk Field. Nate Keller waiting for the snap. He's got it. Hand off. I believe this one, I think, is to Marvelous Rutledge. Marvelous Rutledge tries the right side. He's going to get, let's give him 3. Let's call it 2nd down. And let's call it 2nd down and 7.
Well, let's see if Piqua can step up again here on the defensive side, Dwayne, and stop him here so maybe we can get the ball back again before halftime.
2nd down and 7. Clock's running, 5 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the half. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Keller waiting for the snap. He's going to keep the ball. He's getting a little room around the right side. Finds his way all the way down to about, let's see where they're going to end up spotting that football. Looks like they're going to spot it at about the Piqua 45-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a first down. So we talked about the Stebbins defense. The Stebbins offense hasn't been anything to worry about unless you're a defender with the blue uniform.
Well, Dwayne, we talked about earlier, too. The quarterback is a dual threat. He did take that for about 10 to 12 yards.
Keller waiting for the snap for Stebbins. He's got it. He's going to hand it off. Hand it off to big number 9, Marvelous Rutledge. Marvelous Rutledge is going to get a few. Let's see where the spot the football. I think we can probably give him. Let's see if we can give him 2 or 3. Anyway,
that was a pretty big collision there, Dwayne, between those two, between him and the defender.
Clock continues to run. We're in the second quarter here at Alexander Stadium Park Field, and Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Nate Keller, the snap. Ooh, he's keeping the ball. He faked a handoff to Marvelous Rutledge, and then kept the ball, went around the left side, got inside the 40, got all the way down. Let's see if they're going to spot the ball back at about the 30. Looks to me like it's about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, he shorted the first down, but I tell you what, that was a heck of a fake. Two Piqua defenders went ahead and tackled the running back, Dwayne.
Yeah, they gave Rutledge a hit, but unfortunately, Rutledge didn't have the ball at the time because Nate Keller was finding his way around the left side. 3rd down and 3. 4 minutes left, first half. Keller back to pass, looking down the field. Now he's going to scramble around the left side, goes down to on the Piqua side. Ooh! Somebody came in full steam from the Piqua secondary, and that dropped Keller at about the 25-yard line. So Keller gives a first down to Stebbins. Boy, that last hit was a pretty substantial one by one of the Piqua defenders.
Yeah, it looks like Keller's feeling it a little bit, but he went back to pass, and Wayne didn't see anybody down there, so he tuck it under and ran it himself and got a nice gain.
1st and 10. Ball resting right on the Piqua 25-yard line. Keller, again, the snap. Going to pass to the right flat, trying to find a receiver. That's Rayvon Harris. Rayvon Harris got a few. Let's see where they mark the football. Looks like it's going to be 2nd down. Let's call it 2nd down and 6.
He was tackled there by Karan Coleman, too.
Clock's running, says we have just a bit more than 3 minutes left to go in the half in a very, very low-scoring game. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Stebbins up to the line of scrimmage. Their quarterback, Nate Keller. Keller looking downfield, trying to find somebody, and I believe that's intercepted by Piqua, and that is number 12, Braden Strayer. Braden Strayer picks one off, and that keeps the Stebbins Indians out of the end zone, so another turnover, and this has been a game that has been quite unusual in the fact that that's been, I think, the 5th turnover of the half, and there's only been one 7-point score on the board.
Yeah, Dwayne, and that's the 2nd interception of the year for Strayer there. So yeah, good job there. And now the Indians got it back, and see if they can't do a 2-minute drill and hopefully get some points before the end of half.
I'll tell you, another touchdown by Piqua before they go to the locker room would be huge psychologically.
But you know what, Dwayne, too? Remember we talked about that win, and then our kicker too, Jackson Trumley. You know, if we can get down there, you might give it a shot.
That's right. Handoff goes to, let's see who's getting off the stack. Coleman getting off the stack. He got a few. Let's see how many yards we're going to give him credit for. Karan Coleman gets 3. 2nd down and 7. 2:22 left to go in the half. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Brady Uhl waiting again for the snap. He gets a snap, hits it over on the far side. And that's going to be a completed pass. Boy, they're wrestling on the Piqua sideline. That was intended for brother Blaine Uhl. So Blaine gets his first reception, I think, of the night. And that's going to make it 3rd down. Let's make it 3rd down, and let's call it 3rd down and 5.
Just a short gain on that, Dwayne, but here we are at 3rd and 5, like you mentioned. So let's see if we can pick up the first down and keep the Stebbins offense off of the field.
Got to keep possession of the ball, and now you have to be careful about the clock. I believe Piqua has 2 or 3 timeouts left, so that could be helpful as we get down the stretch. Oh, waiting for the snap. Sprints out to the left side, looking downfield, trying to find somebody, and it falls incomplete. Intended over on the far side to
Corey Miller.
Number 5, Corey Miller. So that brings up a 4th down. So again, the Stebbins defense, Doug, I'll tell you, I'm impressed. with these young fellas who are wearing the white jerseys tonight. They have stymied the offense for the most part, and their defense has really been strong.
Well, Dwayne, I tell you, we just did not take much time off that clock. That was basically 3 and out. Now we're punting, so they got 2 minutes to play with.
Austin Burns to kick it away for Piqua. You're right. High kick. It's going to be picked off by number 10, and he's going to, and that is Adrian Norton. Adrian Norton going to try to turn the corner. He's running in the wrong direction, tries to turn the corner, can't do it. Dives. He's going to be tackled at the 20-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10.
It looked like he tried to reverse his field a little bit there. Medley wasn't having anything about it, so he made a good open field tackle there.
We talked about the size of the Stebbins front four. Their defensive backs got pretty good speed too.
Yep, they got some players for sure.
Let's see what happens as the Stebbins Indians, with 1:50 left to go in the half, take over the football. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. We're just a minute and 50 seconds away from intermission.
And Stebbins has all 3 of their timeouts, Dwayne.
Here's Keller. Keller fakes a pass and then is sacked at about the 15-yard line. Looking downfield, couldn't find anybody, and goes under an avalanche of blue jerseys.
Looks like Caleb Lyons made that sack, but also Sam Smeezing was in there disrupting things.
Minute and a half left, first half. Let's see what Coach Greg Bonifay does with the Stebbins offense. 2nd down and 14. Waiting until that play call is coming in from the far sideline here at Alexander Stadium. Keller waiting for the snap. Gets it. He's going to take it over right. He gets some running room. In fact, he's got quite a bit of running room. He's all the way up to the 30-yard line. So Nate Keller, you said it earlier, Nate Keller can throw the ball, but he's also a threat to run the ball, and that was a good example of it right there, Doug. 1st and 10 for Stebbins.
Yeah, he's not afraid to tuck it down and take it, Dwayne, if nothing's opened up downfield. So he's done that several times tonight.
In the last minute of the first half, Keller. Somebody moved. I believe somebody moved on the right side of the
Yeah, I think
line.
Stebbins moved there, Dwayne. I think we're going to...
That's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the visitors. Again, did you notice the center picked up the ball and went 5 yards and put it back down? And the umpire didn't even have to handle it, I don't think. Here we go, 1st and 15. So the Indians of Stebbins, after a 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15, half minute left to go in the half. Handoff, I think that one's to Rutledge. Rutledge gets it to the 31-yard line, dropped by a host of blue jerseys as the clock says that we've got less than 15 seconds left to go in this half. And right now, Doug, I just wonder if everybody's going to be content with going to the intermission with a 7-0 Piqua lead.
I think you're right, Dwayne. Stebbins had those 3 timeouts, but they elected not to, and I think they're going to regroup for the second half.
That's the end of the second quarter with the score, Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Stay tuned for the halftime activities on the Piqua Indian Nation Station, your home for Piqua Athletics.
I might have a guess, but I wasn't there. You were. I left like right as halftime started. I watched it. So I don't know what happened at halftime. So you didn't hear the conversation between Jared and...
Hello, Indian fans and visiting guests. Thank you for being here tonight to support the athletes competing in tonight's game.
Thank you for wearing your face mask and social distancing.
By doing these 2 simple things, we will be able to compete this season.
And continue to have spectators in the stands. Go Indians!
Tell them exactly how you want them running up to the huddle.
Well,
and you just...
we're definitely taking the huddle.
Because just work, I think we just need to practice it. Like, the huddle, practice it.
What we're going to do is it's going to be whoever wins the middle and quarterback. Number 1, number 2, number 1. So you'll have to get in there and literally, he'll have to talk all the way around.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2020 Pride of Piqua Marching Band. Tonight we present Queens of Pop Show. We start off with a hit by Kesha. We hope you enjoy Timber.
Yeah. What?
AJ wants you. One of you.
Hello? What? What was that? Okay. Yeah, no problem. All right.
Believe me.
Next we present You Trip by Katy Perry. Here's Firework.
This camera. It is what it is. It's okay. It is what it is. This is true. He didn't make some popular blanket entire police. Halftime break, thrown in exception before halftime. Very good.
by Lady Gaga. Here's Bad Romance.
I don't know if I've ever seen like a Piqua, but it looks like
Now, Pickle fans, get on your feet for the Pickle pep song. The Pride of Piqua Marching Band. The Pride is under the field direction of drum majors Carrie Marion Davey, Stephen Doler, and Bella Reyes. The band program is under the direction of directors Mitch Mahaney and Wyatt Hines. The guard director is Dylan Schultz, with help from Jacob Knight, Eileen Gordon, Megan Owens, Cheyenne Weber, and Leah Valajos. The percussion director is Ben Reineke, with help from Mo Longo and Ben Malik. While the Pride of Piqua is unable to compete this year, we will be playing a variety of home games, home boys and girls soccer games, in addition to home football games.
Stop by your Piqua Little Caesars after the game for $5 hot and ready pizzas. Don't forget your crazy bread combo for just $3.50. Little Caesars is your home for $5 hot and ready pizzas and are proud sponsors of the Indian Nation Station and Piqua Digital.
Pizza, pizza.
Dwayne Bachman, Doug Yount, and welcome back to Alexander Stadium, Perk Field with the halftime score, Piqua 7 and Stebbins nothing. Doug, I think the statistics might be the most interesting part of this ball game after one half.
There's no question about it, Dwayne. I mean, with the score being 7-0, we only have one scoring drive to talk about, and that was Piqua there in the beginning, their opening drive, which was 8 plays, 4 minutes for a touchdown. But other than that, you know, first downs and you know, it's 5 for Stebbins and 8 for Piqua. Rushing yards is 16 rushes for Stebbins for 67 yards, 19 rushes for Piqua for 52. And then passing yards was 13 yards total for Stebbins and 86 for Piqua. Piqua was 6 of 11 passing with 1 interception, and Stebbins was 4 of 7 passing with 2 interceptions. And as we talked about, you know, the turnovers was the tail of the first half. 3 turnovers by Stebbins, 2 by Piqua, and especially that costly one as Piqua was going in for a score, and so we basically left points out there and didn't get them on the board. So, but other than that, time of possession as well, pretty much even. Piqua at 11-19, and Stebbins has a little bit of an edge at 12-30 in possession. So, again, the turnovers and everything else. Leading rusher out there is, of course, the quarterback that we spoke about for Stebbins, the dual threat quarterback, Nate Keller, 10 rushes for 45 yards, and then Marvelous Rutledge for 21 yards on 5 rushes. So, and for Piqua, it's Karan Coleman, 8 rushes for 34 yards, and Brady Uhl has 5 for 10, and Medley has 6 rushes for just 8. So, we just haven't seen much success in the running game as we have the first 3 games, Dwayne.
And again, the statistics don't lie. Low scoring. I think we figured that it would not be a high-scoring game, but anybody that would have thought this was going to be a 7-0 halftime score would have wondered whether or not that was possible. It is possible because that's what we've got. Both teams defensively have been pretty strong, but the real difference, of course, is the 5 turnovers, 3 by Stebbins, 2 by Piqua. And when you look at penalties and you look at turnovers, they can tell the difference. Right now, this is a ball game. Doug Yount, I don't know about you, but I'd have to say I'm very, very surprised at Stebbins. I thought that the Piqua defense and offense was strictly going to be too much for them, but that has not been the case. Now the question is it going to be a matter of the Stebbins defense spending so much time on the field that maybe in the fourth quarter it'll be a matter of conditioning?
Well, and Dwayne, we've seen it many times. When you let an opponent hang in there and keep hanging in there, then they start to believe. And Stebbins does have the athletes that if they make some plays, they can make a ball game out of it. So we'll see if Piqua comes out here with some good energy, get a 3 and out, get the ball back in our hands, and see if we can't put a score in the end zone to kind of set the tone for the second half.
Again, the first half of the third quarter might tell us what's going to happen in the rest of this ball game, because right now a 7-0 lead is being protected by Piqua, but it's a long way to go. We're just ready now for Jackson Trombley to kick off the second half, and he'll kick it off deep to Stebbins, and then we'll see what's happening. This ball game is very, very low scoring, much closer than we would have anticipated, but again, we still have a half to go. Right now, the biggest statistic in this ball game have been turnovers, and that basically has probably been one of the reasons the score has remained at 7-0. Trombley waiting for the snap from referee Greg Strickland.
And again, Dwayne, he's kicking into that wind. I don't know, we're not out there to see if it's still pretty, blowing fairly well.
Let's see how far it goes down. He's going to go all the way down to the 5-yard line. Here comes the ball carrier, and boy, he is just mauled at the 15-yard line as the Indians. I would imagine that was an interesting place to halftime in the locker room for Piqua, because I think that basically Coach Neese would have had a few things that he has seen that he has not liked, and let's see whether or not the Indians can take that to the field here and take over this ball game. They have a 7-0 lead, but Stebbins has got the ball as we start the second half of play. Again, Nate Keller is the quarterback.
Dwayne, like we mentioned too, they got the wind behind their back, but Piqua will have it in the fourth quarter as well.
Here's the handoff, I think. Oh, it's going to be Nate Keller, the quarterback. He keeps it, gets a couple off right tackle, but not very many. And again, who's off the stack there? That's Jarrell Lewis.
Yeah, he put a pretty good pop on him. So,
well, let's give him 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. This first series both ways is going to be good as we look at the rest of this ball game. It could be a matter of momentum. Let's see what happens as Keller waits for the snap. He's got it. Going to try to pass on the left side. He gets a receiver who's going to take the ball above the 25-yard line. And let's see whether or not That receiver was number 11 for
Jeremy Holloway. Jeremy Holloway.
Holloway took it good for a first down. So the Stebbins Indians trying to keep the football in their possession, and I believe there was a flag there, but I did not see the flag, nor did I see the signal from the.
Well, Dwayne, it had to be something. Yep, it had to be a unnecessary roughness or personal foul.
And boy, those 15-yard penalties can hurt. So that's going to be 1st and 10 for Stebbins. Ball resting on the Stebbins 42-yard line. Ooh,
Dwayne, that was a combination of about a 25-yard play, Dwayne.
Let's see what happens as Keller waits for the snap. He's got it. Hands it off, I think, to Rutledge. Ooh, I believe Rutledge is going to be dropped for a loss. I think that's number 9 under the bottom of that stack.
Well, actually, I think, Dwayne, on the defensive tackle side, that was Tate Adams. Looked like he might have got in there first, and the rest of them finished him off.
So Rutledge is dropped for about a 2-yard loss. Well, they're going to call it 3. Let's call it 2nd down and 13. 10 minutes, 35 seconds left to go. Third quarter. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Waiting now for the snap. Nate Keller. Wide out to the top side, 2 to the near side. Keller gets the snap, sprinting out to the right side. He's going to run the football, gets some running room, gets over.
Oh, that ball's loose!
It's a fumble, but I believe they covered it from Stebbins. Let's see who gets off the stack, because he's going to get credit. That's number 6, and that's going to be Ray Von Harris, who recovered the fumble from Nate Keller. So another big play, and that one in favor of the Stebbins Indians.
He's taking some shots tonight, Nate Keller has, from the side there, and that one popped out, and the Indians just were a little too late at getting there.
6 foot, 165-pound junior quarterback, Nate Keller. 3rd down and 9. Second snap, here it comes. Pass to the far sideline in the flat, incomplete. And that was intended for number 11. We've seen him before. That's Jeremy Holloway. So that's going to make it 3rd down and 9. So now the Piqua defense starting to stiffen up a little bit. Doug, big play right here. This is a possession play.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We'll see if we can't bring a little bit of the heat there. And actually, it's 4th and 9.
4th and 9.
So now they got to punt the ball. So
So that's going to bring up Sean Dozier. And the Indians going to get their hands on the ball for the first time. The defense is going to do their job. Let's see what the offense can do once they get their hands on it here in just a second. Dozier at the 30-yard line, left-footed kicker gets it away. Going to bounce at about the 25-yard line, where it's touched by one of the Stebbins Indians. So the Indians are going to have, Indians of Piqua, going to have it on their own 25-yard line. And it's going to be a 9-minute, 20-second level. Now, if anything, Doug, the Indians need to put something on the scoreboard right here.
Oh, for sure. Set the tone again like we talked about. Defense kind of did their job, stopped them, got the ball back, and let's see what we come out with here on offense. And see, maybe again, too, Dwayne, maybe if they got the scripted plays like they did in the beginning and kind of ran that no huddle, which kind of kept the Stebbins defense off balance.
Brady Uhl waiting for the snap. Got wide out to the top side and to the near side. First time the Piqua Indians have had the ball in the second half. Hand off to Karan Coleman. Karan Coleman, around the right side. But I'm not so sure he even got back to the line of scrimmage. I'll tell you, these defensive backs for Stebbins have been impressive.
Well, the defensive linemen have just played outstanding, and we could tell by the stats coming into the game. We have no game film to go off of, but they all have almost double-digit tackles, and they're more than holding their own.
Indians have not been able to turn the corners. Let's see what happens when the play comes in from the sideline. And Brady Uhl goes to the shotgun. 2nd down and 10. Little pitch out going to go to Medley. Medley's going to get to about the 26-yard line. Again, the defense from Stebbins trying to keep the Indians back through the line of scrimmage, and my golly, that's just about the way it is.
That was a good hit there by Dan Jackson for the Stebbins Indians.
So the Indians again up to the line of scrimmage, trying to find some magic offensively with 3rd down and 10. They've got it on their own 26-yard line. Brady Uhl. He's going to pass the ball, going to look downfield. Now he decides to run. Gets around the far side, and he's going to get to about the 35-yard line. Gets out of bounds on the Piqua sideline, and I think that's going to be enough for a 1st down. That was probably a bigger play than we might have imagined.
Well, and you know what? It was just right at the 35, Dwayne, so he got exactly what he needed. So
1st and 10. Clock running, 7:54 left to go, 3rd quarter. Piqua 7, Stebbins nothing. Has not been any scoring since the early part of the 1st quarter. Handoff right up the middle for Piqua. And that's probably going to be Karan Coleman. Let's see if 25 gets up. No, it's Medley. Medley goes up the middle, gets, let's give him, are they going to give him 3? 2nd down and 7.
That was Marvelous Rutledge again on the tackle for the Stebbins Indians. He's been very active tonight on defense for sure.
Wolf waiting for the snap. He's got it. He's going to pass to the Piqua side intended for Garrett Shrub. Overthrew him, so that falls incomplete. Uhl to Shrub. There have been times in the season where that particular play has been very, very good for Piqua, but that time the defender was very, very close to number 6, Garrett Shrub.
And you're right, Dwayne. You know, Garrett has 5 receptions this year, but 2 touchdowns, and a lot of them come on those on that play.
Let's see what happens with 3rd down and 7 for Piqua. A big possession play, Doug.
Again, yep.
Big play here with 7:21 left to go, 3rd quarter. Piqua holding on to a 7-0 lead. Uhl. 3 wide outs to the top side, 1 to the near side. Uhl going to pass to the right side, falls incomplete, intended for Brother Blaine. Knocked down by, I believe there's our buddy, number 9, Marvelous Rutledge, who was in there to knock it down. So let's bring up 4th down and 7. And again, the Stebbins defense holds, Doug. I'm impressed with that defense from Stebbins.
It just seems like we just seem to be a little bit out of sync in the pass game, Dwayne. We just can't seem to connect on some of these. There was 2 Piqua guys in that same area, and that ball dropped in between. So
Austin Burns is going to kick it away for Piqua.
Back deep for the Stebbins Indians.
Waiting for the snap. It's a good one. Burns is ready. Gets it away. Going to be fielded. No, it's going to bounce. It's going to get a Piqua bounce. Going to go inside the 20-yard line. It's going to be dead at about the 15-yard line. So the Austin Burns punt. Well done. Now back to the offense. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not so sure. Could there have been a penalty on that play? We're waiting for referee Greg Strickland to signal something, I believe. I don't know if he signaled anything. I think he basically...
Well, Dwayne, I think
somebody touched the ball at the 29-yard line, which made it a dead ball.
Yep.
So the Stebbins Indians going to get the ball at their own 29-yard line. And Nate Keller waited for the snap. He's going to keep it, but he gets some running room right up the middle. Evaded a few tacklers, but right up the middle, got a couple, not very many. He's a pretty good runner.
He is, and he avoided that a little bit. You know, that Tate Adams was in there again, putting some pressure on him, and he got loose and made a positive play out of it.
Got 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. 6 minutes, 46 seconds left to go. 3rd quarter of play.
Let's see if the Indians defense let's see if the Indians defense, Dwayne, can put a little pressure in that backfield. There we go.
A handoff to number 6. That's Rayvon Harris, a freshman. Rayvon didn't have any luck, but we see a yellow flag, and we see a face mask penalty against Piqua.
Again, Dwayne, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit here. A great play again in the backfield by Sam Smeezing and Caleb Lyons, but they must have got the hand on the face mask, and the official called it.
So they're going to put the football in play. Goodness gracious. Going to be put in play at about the 48-yard line. So that's going to make it 1st and 10 for the Stebbins Indians with 6:26 left to go, 3rd quarter. Again, Nate Keller waiting for the snap. He's in the shotgun. 2 wideouts to the top side, 2 to the near side. He's going to hand it off to Rutledge, Marvelous Rutledge. Off left tackle, he's going to get a couple. Let's see who gets off the stack for Piqua. I see Jarrell Lewis is one of them. Let's see who else is there. And also, it's number 22. That's Tate Adams.
Yep, Tate Adams was in there on the tackle as well. You're right, Dwayne. But that Rutledge, he's a load. He pushed the pile forward for about 4 to 5 yards.
Fine athlete. Fine athlete. You're right. 2nd down and 6. Let's see what Stebbins is going to do with this one. Wideouts to the top side and to the near side. Nate Keller hands it off this time. I think Rutledge got it again, but that's not going to have much luck. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage. That might be all Marvelous Rutledge is going to get on that play.
That was a 2 forces meeting right there with Jarrell Lewis and Rutledge, roughly about the same size. They both had a pretty good collision there, and
going to be 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 as the clock continues to run. A 7-0 game, and we're midway through the 3rd quarter. Who would have ever guessed that there'd be a single score in this contest? Stebbins, Nate Keller, waiting for the snap. He's got it. He's going to look to the left side, throws it to a receiver who lets it fall to the ground. Intended, and we've seen that name before. That's Jeremy Holloway. That was a little bit too high for Jeremy. It falls incomplete. Going to be 4th down and 7, and the Stebbins Indians are going to have to punt it away. Again, second half, the Piqua defense has been strong, waiting for something from the offense.
You're right, Dwayne, on that last play, too. Holloway at 6'4" went up to get it, but Tanner Kemp went right there in the middle and broke it up.
Sean Dozier going to kick it away, standing at his own 33-yard line. Left-footed kicker, he's got it. It's going to be picked off at the 22-yard line by Piqua. Let's see who's got it. That's going to be number 6, and that's going to be
Garrett Shrub.
That's going to be Garrett Shrub. So Garrett Shrub brings it back to, let's see where they spotted it. It was about a 6-yard line. No, let's call it the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Piqua, and the Indians need some offense, Doug Young.
Yeah, they do, Dwayne. That was the first time, too. We've had a chance to return a punt or a kick tonight, and Garrett got about 5 yards, but here we are at the 25. Let's see what happens.
Oh, brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Right off to the top side, 2 of them, 1 to the near side. Ooh, hands it off. There we go. Medley's got some running room. They're not going to catch him. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Josiah Moe! Talk about a big play. Josiah Medley goes the distance for a score for Piqua. I don't see a yellow flag. And Doug Young, if there was a time for that, that was the time.
That was, Dwayne, and we've seen that a couple times this year. He's got great acceleration. When he gets out into the open field, he just kind of takes it and he pulls away, and he did on that one.
I'm not sure anybody's really got a good touch of that jersey. He was off to the races. So Conley trying to make it a 14-0 game as Medley goes the distance and puts the Indians on the scoreboard for the second time. Bad snap.
A little high snap, but he's rolling.
Trying to roll out to the right side, but thrown into the end zone. Was picked off by one of the Stebbins defenders. So with 4:30 left to go, 13-0, the Piqua Indians over the Stebbins Indians.
Well, Dwayne, you hate to see that. Just the ball was just a little bit high, but as we know with special teams, it takes the snap and the hold and the kick, but once again, when it's high, a lot of times you do that little fire drill where you roll out, and I think that happened earlier this year on a field goal try that we tried in Vandalia Butler, and it turned into a big play, if I recall right.
Turned into the game changer, is what that was. So the Indians are going to kick it away, and Jackson Trombley's going to put it down, and boy, was that huge. So now I tend to think the Piqua defense is saying they aren't going to score on us tonight. Let's see if that's the case. Second half has been pretty much dominated by the Piqua Indians.
It has.
There must have been a penalty on that last touchdown because they're going to move the ball. Let's see what Greg Stickland says about that one.
Sportsmanlike conduct. Number 2 is Stebbins. That's a 15-yard penalty will be assessed.
Penalty against the Stebbins Indians, so probably going to have a chance to kick one out of the stadium. Jackson waiting for the whistle. 4:30 left to go, third quarter. Piqua 13, Stebbins 0.
Got a 15-yard head start on it, Dwayne, from the 40 to the opposite 45.
Waiting for the whistle.
Might be something too, Dwayne. You might try a little onside kick here, perhaps.
You might catch him by surprise. I think Jackson wants to kick it out of the. Yep, they're right. A little squib kick, and it's loose, and it's going to go out of bounds. So a little surprise that you wouldn't have expected, but goes out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. 1st and 10, Stebbins. Another flag. Let's see if we can find out what that one was all about. We'll wait for Greg Strickland to give us the signal. Right now, the officials trying to find out where they want to spot the ball. Let's see what happens as the Indians are going to give the ball back after the touchdown to Stebbins, and they have been able to stifle the Stebbins offense all night. Now all 4 of the 5 officials are talking about it, and I'm not so sure at this point in time they've made a decision on what's going to happen. We'll wait. There'll be a signal from Greg Strickland. It's going to be, I think that was a false start. Oh, they kicked it out of bounds, and that's a penalty.
Well, okay. and you're right. You're right, Dwayne.
Yeah, so that's so now the ball's going to be put in play at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's kind of backfired on him. You know, we thought maybe an onside kick, but you got to keep it in the field of play.
So let's see now what happens. It's 1st and 10, 4:30 left to go, third quarter, and the Stebbins Indians have not been able to do anything offensively against this very, very strong Piqua defense. Keller gets it. Pass to the left flat. It's intended for number 11, and we've heard that name before. That is Jeremy Holloway. First completion, I think, of the second half for Holloway. Let's see what they give him. It looks to me like it's going to be second down. Let's see what they give him.
He was stopped there by 5. Yep, and he was stopped there by Aiden Meyer.
Again, Piqua defense has been outstanding, and the offense has been able to put 2 in the end zone. That's why we've got a 13-0 advantage in favor of the Piqua Indians. Again, Keller for the snap. Now he's going to pass to the right flat. They got a receiver, and the receiver drops the ball. It's on the floor.
Yep.
It's on the ground, and I believe Karan Coleman picked it off.
That's correct.
Another turnover by the Stebbins Indians. Talk about your worst enemy being a turnover. Man, I think that's number 4 for them in this ball game?
It is, Dwayne, and it's the first here of the second half, but you're right, a little slant pattern was a positive play for him. Again, he took a big hit from the side, the ball came loose, and the Indians were there to recover.
Again, a score here psychologically would put a different light on this whole ball game, and the second half all of a sudden belongs to the Piqua Indians.
We talked about, Dwayne, coming out at halftime, setting the tone.
Oh. Hands it off to Coleman. Ooh, he gets to the line of scrimmage. That's about all he got. Dropped in there by number 2 and number 4. Number 2 is Tyrese Lattimore. Number 24 is Jerry Jackson. So Karan Coleman didn't have any luck that time. Let's keep it at 10, second down and 10. Play coming in from the Piqua sideline. Ooh. Off to the right flat. He's off to number 2. That's Drayshawn Roberts. Drayshawn Roberts to the 30-yard line. That's the first time we've seen Drayshawn with his hands on the ball. But again, completed pass. Going to be third down. Let's call it third down and 5.
Yeah, just a sophomore, Dwayne, came in there a little bit at the slot receiver. We know he's a pretty good basketball player for the Indians as well.
Yes, he is. Third down and 5. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do. Clock continues to run.
And you got to believe this is 4 down territory no matter what.
That's right. Ooh. With the snap. Hands it off to Coleman. Coleman got some running room. Coleman's going to go inside the 50, all the way down to the 10-yard line. There, Karan Coleman off right tackle. That's gonna. Let's see if it's going to be first and goal or first and 10. I think it's going to probably be first and goal. So the Indian right now, the offense is sort of taken over, and then somebody from Stebbins walks across the line, and I think that's going to give the Indians of Piqua 5 more yards. Offside call against the Stebbins Indians. So right now the Stebbins Indians are doing absolutely nothing to help themselves, Doug.
No, they're not doing it. That was a great run by Coleman there, slipping a couple tackles.
Hand off to Coleman again.
Oh,
Coleman! Did he make it? He's near the end zone. He did. Karan Coleman into the end zone, right at the marker. So quickly, the Indians put 2 on the scoreboard, and that is going to be huge. Makes it 19-0. And here comes Jackson in to make it a 20-0 game. Tremblay going to try to make it 20-0. Boy, quickly the Indians offense has taken over this ball game. Here's the kick. It's up. It is good. 2:15 left to go. Third quarter. Piqua 20. Stebbins 0. Glad you joined us on this beautiful Friday night for football. Again, Dwayne Bachman, Doug Young.
Well, Dwayne, we talked about turnovers again, and that turnover did happen, and that came back to bite Stebbins, and the Indians only had to go about 35 yards to get that, about 4 or 5 plays, some running plays, and Coleman punched it in.
Doug, you have to look at things realistically at some time. Realistically at this time, with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter, the Indians of Piqua with a 3-touchdown lead. You'd like to think that it's going to take something very, very special, and I don't think the Piqua defense is ready to give up anything right now. I think they smell a 0 on the end of that score, just like they had last Friday night.
Well, you're right, and I think too with Stebbins, from what I saw, their offense is pretty efficient, but I just haven't seen them really go downfield and being able to get that big play against the Indians. So everything's kind of been more, a run or a short pass, and that just eats up the clock, and that plays into the Indians' hands.
Their offense does not lend itself to a 20-0 deficit. Here's Trombley with the kick. Going to go down to the 5-yard line. Picked off by one of the boy, he didn't get much. He got to about the 17-yard line. Let's see who's on the bottom of that stack, number 6. And that's going to be number 6 is Rayvon Harris. So now the Stebbins Indians, finding themselves behind by 20-0, are not going to be able to be conservative, Doug. They're probably going to have to open things up a little bit, and I'm not so sure the Piqua defense is anything but ready for what's going to happen here, because this is a defense that came out of the locker room at the half. I think they were steaming.
Well, and I think what you're going to see here is, Dwayne, they're going to put some pressure on them, maybe some blitzes. They're going to create a little havoc back there.
Keller hands it off over left tackle. That's to number 4. I don't think we've heard his name very much, and we haven't. Omar Holloway. And so he picked up 4, second down and 6. Less than 2 minutes left to go, third quarter. Piqua now with a 20-0 advantage.
That was Landon Hare on that tackle as well. So let's see what we do here.
Nate Keller waiting for the snap. Go back to pass. Sprinting out to the right side, looking downfield.
Ooh, and Jarrell Lewis came in and got him.
And about the 22-yard line, Jarrell Lewis chased him into the Piqua sideline.
Jarrell did a good job of pursuing him there, got him there at the shoestrings and took him down.
Clock's, I thought he went out of bounds, but the clock seems to be running with 1:12 left to go, third quarter. Third down, let's call it third down and 6 for Stebbins. And again, I hate to say it, but this is a big possession play for both teams. Stebbins would like to keep it, and the Piqua defense would like to hold them and give it right back to the offense. offense right now is doing very, very well. Let's see what happens on 3rd and 6. Keller trying to find some running room, goes up the middle. He's going to have enough for a first down, and that's going to give the Stebbins Indians a first down.
Yeah, Dwayne, that's one problem too. When you bring a little pressure up the middle and he slips that, then that middle's wide open, and he ended up taking advantage of it and getting a nice gain and getting the first down.
Let's see what happens with less than a minute left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Play coming in from the Stebbins sideline. Stebbins doesn't seem to have the kind of offense that you need to come back from a big deficit.
Yeah.
There's a grinder out type of offense, and that's not going to work when you're behind. Oh, a little screen pass over the middle, and it's a completed pass to number 4, and that's Aiden Jones, and completed all the way up to about, I think about the 45-yard line. And that might be the last play. Let's see if that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. Clock is running, and neither team looking like they want to put it in play. So let's see whether or not we'll run out the 3rd quarter. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score Piqua 20 and Stebbins nothing. You're watching Piqua High School football on the Indian Nation Station, your home for Piqua Athletics.
Piqua's a community full of great career citizens, and Grants is certainly one of them, right at the top of the list.
A family that really believes in the community in which we live, and really believes and takes interest in their employees, which they employ.
This company is one of the few that stands forward with integrity and honesty.
From the moment I walk in, it's a joy to be with the people that I'm with.
Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Linda. We know this has been a trying season for everyone. Staying at home is not easy.
One thing that can make it a whole lot better is a first-rate furnace and air conditioning system installed by experienced factory-trained technicians.
Indoor air quality is also primary. Consider a whole house filtration system with 98% efficiency rating.
Let's all stay safe and healthy.
Make your home a comfort zone.
Call Morris Comfort Systems today.
Dwayne Bachman, Doug Young back at Alexander Stadium Perk Field. We're just about ready to start the 4th and final quarter of the ball game. Piqua with a 20-0 lead. 1st and 10 for Stebbins. They've got the ball on their own 42-yard line. Keller back to pass, looking to the right side. Finds a receiver. They're going to call it a complete. I thought he was bobbling the ball, but obviously Aiden Jones brought it in before he got out of bounds, so it's a completed pass. And right away, the Stebbins offense wants to go to the line of scrimmage, but have to wait for a play to come in from the sideline. And Doug, these are clock eaters.
Well, and you're right, Dwayne. They're at the point now where they're going to have to go with the no huddle.
2nd down and 4. There's our number 9. That's Rutledge, Marvelous Rutledge, right up the middle. Going to have enough for a first down.
Tackled there by Sam Smeezing there, but you're right. He rumbled across. Now they're in Indian territory.
1st and 10. Ball resting now in Piqua territory at about the 44-yard line. Nate Keller hands it off to number 9. I believe Marvelous Rutledge got the handoff. Let's see it. Nope, he didn't. That's number 4. So Omar Holloway got the ball, took it inside, got about 5. 2nd down and 5. And now here's where you have an offense where you have to wait every play to get something from the sideline when every second is very, very precious.
For sure.
Nate Keller. Back to pass. He's looking. No, he's going to sprint out to the right side. He gets rid of it, throws it out of bounds. He was being pursued by a couple blue jerseys. He threw it out of bounds just to keep him being thrown for a loss.
Now you're looking at a 3rd down, Dwayne, and I got to believe this is probably 4th down territory as well for the Stebbins Indians.
Passing game for Stebbins has not been very strong.
Nope.
3rd down. 3rd down and 5. Let's see what Stebbins is going to do here. Again, the clock stopped with the incompleted pass, but by the same token, this is not an offense that lends itself to a 20-0 deficit where you have to get that pass from the sideline. Let's see what happens as Keller gets ready to get the snap. He's got it. He's going to go back to pass, looking downfield. 9 wants to run. Oh, he's going to get away from some Piqua defender. Throws it downfield. It goes incomplete. Boy, they just about had him trapped, but he got rid of it, and it falls incomplete. Going to be 4th down. Now let's see if Greg Bonifay thinks they've got any choice but to try to keep possession of the football.
I tell you what, Dwayne, that play there had disaster written all over it, and he threw it back into the field of play, and luckily it didn't get picked off.
Let's see if Sean Dozier goes back to punt it away. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 4th down. It's going to be 4th down and 5 for Stebbins. And they've got the ball at the Piqua 39-yard line. Keller all by himself in the shotgun. And we've got a timeout. We've got a whistle. Let's see. Stebbins calls timeout. So, Doug, let's take a look at what's been happening here this 3rd and 4th quarter. It's been all Piqua. Piqua's defense has been very, very good. Came out of the locker room at the intermission dedicated to a shutout. Looks like they might get it. Offensively, they took advantage of a couple mistakes by Stebbins, and that results in a 20-0 advantage.
And you're right, Dwayne. And also in that 3rd quarter, Piqua finally got their running game going a little bit. The first touchdown drive was basically one play, a big play by Medley, popping that ball out for about a 60, 70-yard touchdown. And then Stebbins had the ball and then fumbled it, and we had it in prime position again, and then Coleman took it from there. So, that was basically a 3-minute drive that went 35 yards. So, we kind of set the tone as we talked about again, and put a couple scores on the board in that 3rd quarter.
4th and 5. Nate Keller going to be in the shotgun, trying to keep the ball in the hands of the white jersey visitors. Snap. He's going to give it on the right side. Tries to give it to number 6, Rayvon Harris, but Rayvon couldn't catch up with it. It falls incomplete. So the Stebbins defense is going to be back on the field because the offense has just not been able to do anything this second half against the Piqua defense.
And the Piqua defensive line knew what was coming. They were pinning back their ears pretty good, and quarterback took a pretty good hit there as well.
10:45 left to go in the ball game. Let's see what Bill Neese decides to do. I do not think Bill Neese is necessarily going to do a lot of passing. He wants to keep the ball on the ground and take time off the clock. Let's see if that's how Bill looks at it with two wide receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Let's see if that's what we're going to do. Hands the ball off. Tanner Kemp. Tanner Kemp's going to get all kinds of running room. He's going to go inside the 30, down to the 20, picks up a block, going to get, he might have been in for a score, and he was. Tanner Kemp danced his way down the Piqua sideline for the score. I like Tanner Kemp, not only as an offensive player, but on the defensive side as well. So Tanner Kemp goes the distance. The Indians put 6 more on the board. Wow-wee, Tanner Kemp with a long, long runner.
And Dwayne, he's got really good speed, but what he did there, the last 20 yards of that play, was he kind of waited, picked his block so he could take it back in, so took it all the way.
Yeah, we got to give credit for the young fellow who was blocking for him, because he got a couple of receivers that give Tanner a chance to put it in the end zone. Here's Tremblay for the extra point. Kick is up. It is good. Piqua 27, Stebbins nothing. 27-0 with 10:35 left to go in this ball game. Doug, let's talk a little bit about the 2 games left on the Piqua schedule. Next Friday night, they're going to go to Tip City, and Tip City is always a competitive ball club. And then on the following Friday, they're going to go to Sydney to finish the regular season before the playoffs. We were told by Chip Hare, the athletic director of Piqua, that there's going to be information available on the Ohio High School Athletic Association over the next few days about some of that playoff information. So if you're a Piqua fan, OHSAA.org, and maybe you can pick it up as it's shared on the internet.
Well, and Dwayne, as we know, Tip's going to be well coached. They're coached by the former Troy coach, Matt, what is it, Bachbacher or whatever his name is. His father had coached there, and he went back there to Tip City and doing a fine job with them. And they got a very stubborn defense. They've only given up like 13 points this year, so that'll be a stout test for the Indians as well.
That will be. Here comes Trombley with the kick. He's going to kick it down to about he's going to kick it into the end zone. So I believe Jackson gets his first touchback of the night, but he put that major league leg into it. So the Indians go back on defense, and of Piqua, the Indians of Stebbins going to take the ball. They want, I think right now, Stebbins would like to get on the scoreboard, and the defense of Piqua said, oh no, it's not going to be that easy. It has not been that easy for the offense of Stebbins all night.
No, it has not, Dwayne, and we talked to on Stebbins' side of the ball. I mean, their next two games, they got Fairborn and Troy after this, so they're looking for any type of a moral victory to go in with some sort of positivity in the next week.
They'd like to say we were competitive at Piqua, and maybe for the first half they were.
They were.
For the second half, it's all Piqua Indians. Nate Keller. And he's going to keep the ball kind of going around the right side. Gets enough room to go to about the 23, 27-yard line. It's going to be, let's call it second down. Let's call it second down, and I'm going to call it second down and 3.
Yep, that's what we got, Dwayne. Yep.
But the clock is going to run, and that, of course, is going to be the big ally for Piqua and a big enemy for the visitors from Stebbins High School.
And it doesn't look like Stebbins is in a great hurry, being down 27-0. So I think they're going to just stick with their script of plays and see what they can get.
Handoff right up the middle, and again, that's number 4, and that is Omar Holloway. He got a few off to the right side. In fact, he got enough for a first down. Right now, it's not a matter of who, but how many.
Yeah, well, and you're right, Dwayne. I think what Stebbins does with the Holloway kid, from looking at their stats, he's had some carries and stuff, so they kind of put him in for some fresh legs, I believe. But again, they're down 27-0. But
well, we talked about Marvelous Rutledge being a two-way player, and I would imagine that at this point in time, you're right, some fresh legs from Omar Holloway. Here comes the snap. Keller back to pass, getting some pressure.
Oh,
he's going to be knocked to the ground. He's going to be sacked. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see who got that 85, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, that's number 85. And that is a big sack for Piqua, and that is Landon Hare. Landon has played well all season. That was an awfully good effort.
And we talked about it, Dwayne. A lot of times offenses are keying on Jarrell Lewis on the opposite side, and that leaves Landon one-on-one, and he beat that matchup there and got in there very quickly and hit him from the blind side.
Second down, loss of 17. Keller. He's going to hand it off right up the middle to Omar Holloway. Omar's going to get it to about the 39-yard line, but again, it's going to be too little, too late as the clock continues to run with 8.5 minutes left to go. Going to be third down. Let's call it third down and 2. The Indians are in no rush because they've got the 27-point lead, and the defense has been outstanding again tonight. Could be the second shutout in a row. Let's see what happens as Keller waits for the snap. Oh, hands it off to Omar Holloway. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll bet that's Caleb Lyons. Let's see if that's who number 67 might be.
Yeah, you're correct.
And,
that's who it was. Caleb Lyons.
Oh, man, that was a hit.
Well,
that was a hit.
I think Caleb almost got there before the handoff did.
That's about right. 4th down and 5. Well, again, I guess here come a lot of new players.
I think they're coming in just to. I think they're going to kick it, Dwayne.
They're going to kick it away, and that's probably going to be Sean Dozier. If it's number 13, that's exactly who it is. And again, at this point in time, I tend to think that Coach Greg Bonifay want to say, let's kick it away and keep him out of the end zone again. High snap, yep, the left-footed kicker gets it away. Going to go down, and it's going to bounce out of bounds inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. So it's a good kick by Dozier, but now the Indians have the ball 1st and 10 and a 27-0 lead with 7 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Now, Dwayne, 2 of those scoring drives was a similar script that we saw earlier this year when Piqua was running backs. You know, they took control, and it was only one play, 2 scoring drives, 1 play each, long touchdown runs. One by Tanner Kemp and one by Medley.
In fact, as you look back, look at the 4 games, there have been a lot of long runs for touchdowns for Piqua. Let's see what happens as we put the ball back in play. Handoff goes, Uhl kept the ball and didn't have much luck. Not sure he got any more back than the line of scrimmage. That time Brady kept the ball, and again, he kept the clock running.
Dwayne, I still will say, though, I've been impressed with Stebbins' defensive line. They haven't quit. They've been out on the field practically the whole second half.
And again, other than the Piqua defense just being absolutely inspired after the intermission, you got to give the credit for Stebbins. They have not quit, even though they trail by 27 points. Handoff to Karan Coleman. He almost got loose, but got up to about the 42-yard line, short of the first down. About one tackle away, maybe, for getting another TD.
I tell you what, Dwayne, he's a good two-way player. He's good on defense, and he's a hard runner. And I believe the University of Dayton has interest in him, and he would be a fine player at that level for sure.
Yes, he would. 3rd down and 2 for Piqua. Brady Uhl now can take time for a little signal session from the Piqua sideline.
Oh, yeah, they're going to take that clock down as far as they can before snapping it.
Waiting now for, not so sure, we have a little delay here. I'm not so sure why, but looks like we're ready to go. 3rd down and 2 for Piqua. Brady Uhl back in the shotgun. And again, time on the 25-second clock, so he took it. Hand off to Karan Coleman. Karan Coleman over left tackle, got a couple, but I'm not so sure that did he get enough for a 1st down. Are they moving the stakes? I don't think he'd get quite enough. Going to be 3rd down. Looks like a 3rd down and 1.
It looks like a long
4th down and 1 for Piqua.
It's like a long one.
Yes, that is. Uh-oh. Somebody almost, somebody dropped. Somebody was a little too anxious, and it's going to be, now wait a minute, I think maybe they're going to call that penalty against Piqua.
False start.
And I believe they did. That penalty is going to go against, false start by Piqua, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Blue.
And now that's going to change their mode of thinking. Now you're 4th down and 6, so we're going to punt the ball away, Dwayne.
Okay, so Austin Burns obviously going to kick it away, and with 5 minutes left to go in the ball game, Piqua with the 27-0 lead. Burns going to kick it from about his own 22-yard line. He's been a very, very steady punter in these first 4 games. The snap. The kick. Going to bounce. Going to give a bounce right at the 27-yard line. It dies. The Indians are going to have it 1st and 10 with 4:30 left to go in the game, and they've got themselves a 27-0 lead. Glad you've joined us tonight on Channel 5, the Indian Nation station. It's been an interesting ball game. The first half was very, very close, 7-0 at halftime. And after halftime, the game belonged to the young fellas in the blue shirts. So let's see what happens as we get ready to wind down the final 4.5 minutes of this ball game.
Let's see if Stebbins can't muster a little something of a drive here. But like you said, the Indians still have their first unit out there.
Keller waiting for the snap, looking to the far side, has a receiver, and that's going to be see who got that. That's number 11. We've seen that one before. That's Jeremy Holloway. So Jeremy Holloway gets, he's going to get about 7. So let's call it 2nd down and 3.
Well, I agree with you, Dwayne. I think the defense is trying to send a message to the rest of the opponents. Hey, you know what? We've only given up 9 points all year.
Let's see what happens as they give the ball that time to number 4, and that's Aiden Jones. Aiden Jones straight ahead. Going to be enough for a Stebbins first down. Clock continues to run right under 4 minutes left in the ball game. Next week the Indians go to Tip City, and the final game of the 6-game schedule they'll play at Sydney. Keller looking for somebody to throw it to. Throws it to the far side, and by golly, he completed that to Jeremy Holloway.
But he
Jeremy
paid
Holloway with a completed pass. But unfortunately, Doug, you're not going to be doing it by 7-yard passes, not with this deficit. Right now, I think maybe they're just trying to establish what might be best for them for the last 2 games of the season.
And I tell you what, he took the quarterback there for Stebbins, Nate Keller, he took a big pop. He paid for it.
1st and 10 for Stebbins. Back to pass. It's going to be a little screen pass. Let's see if... Oh, intercepted by Piqua. Intercepted by Piqua, and that is Damian Lawson. Damian Lawson picked one out, and I think that's turnover number 6, if I'm not mistaken, for Stebbins.
That's pretty much the nail in the coffin. Not that the outcome was in doubt by any stretch of the imagination, but Nate just kind of threw it up there, and you know, the Indians picked it off, and I think they're going to take these next 3 minutes and kind of run the clock out, Dwayne.
And I think that would be what everybody would expect. In fact, this ball game is well in hand, and it looks like the Piqua defense is going to have another shutout.
And back-to-back, so.
Yes. Handoff this time to, this is Coleman. I think it's 25, isn't it? And again, or is it Roberts? Is it, or somebody's on the ground, but I think getting up slowly. Okay, that's going to be number 23, Bryson Roberts. So we're going to see some of the other kids get a little time here as we wind down this ball game.
I'll tell you what, Dwayne, Bryson's a sophomore for them, 5'10" and 174, and he's got 19 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown.
He's got a little playing time, that's right. That's right, and again, you might say, well, what does that mean? That means he's getting enough time to keep him happy, and also to remember there is going to be another year for this young fellow. There's a handoff this time. I believe it's going to be, no, it's going to be Brady Uhl. I think Brady Uhl kept the ball, didn't he? Let's see if he's getting underneath that stack, and he is. He's going to get close to a first down for Piqua. Nice fake to Roberts, and Brady Uhl takes it down to the 45-yard line of Stebbins.
About 2 yards to go, 3rd and 2.
Let's see if Bill Neese has got anything more than a play to start and keep the clock running.
Yeah, they're in no hurry to get the plays in and out. Game. Yep, no hurry at all.
Has a big touchdown run tonight. Brady Uhl with the snap. There's down to Tanner Kemp. Well, this time Tanner's not going to have much luck. Tries the right side, but too many white jerseys. Tanner Kemp, let's see how many he got, because again, couldn't get through the middle of that Stebbins line. It's going to be fourth down, and I'm sure we're going to have Austin Burns come in and punt it away. Right now, Bill Neese want to keep the ball away from the offense, and he has no reason to go for it, I don't think, with 4th and 2. Let's see if we're right on that. Right now, Bill Neese wants to keep that.
Day or night, find easy access to the care you need now for wellness to emergencies.
4th down and 3. Piqua 27. Stebbins nothing. Here come the.
Hey, Dwayne, he brought the offense back out.
By golly, it looks like Austin Burns is going to punt it away. That's a little unusual for Bill Neese. I would guess he'd like to pin those Stebbins Indians back to make sure that if they're going to score, they're going to have to do it from a long way away. But obviously he's not going to do it. It's minute 45 left to go in this ball game. Piqua 27 and Stebbins nothing. Glad you've joined us, Dwayne Bachman, Doug Yant, in a ball game that at the half was 7-0 Piqua, but since then it's been all red, white, and blue. So let's see what happens as we wind this one down and say good going Piqua. The defense was tremendous. Second half the offense took charge, and that's why we've got a 27-0 lead as we get back on 4th and 3. So Bill Neese says, let's keep the football. Let's not punt it away.
Wow,
Brady Uhl is going to go around the right side, looking downfield. Found a receiver. Yes, he did. Blaine Uhl at the 30-yard line. Found Brother Blaine at the 30. Figure, well, let's make this a brother act. So Blaine's going to keep it down inside the inside territory, so it's 1st and 10. Boy, that's not the conservative Bill Neese we've seen, but then with the 27-0 lead, with 2 minutes left to go, I think he can become a little reckless.
Yeah, well, and I think he's, again, maybe working on some things for next week or whatever. So, at first I thought maybe Brady was going to try to draw Stebbins off sides, but they did snap it, and they did convert.
1st and 10. Ball resting on the Stebbins 30-yard line. We got a minute 12 seconds left to go in this ball game. Handoff, this time it goes on the right side to Tanner Kemp. Tanner cannot turn the corner. Dropped in there by number 25. Dalton King.
And again, that defensive line for Stebbins, we talked about it a little bit. We'll give them credit. They played hard. They've been out there an awful lot here this second half.
Let's see what happens with 2nd down and 14 with less than a minute left. Looks like the clock says we've got 30 seconds left. Might have one, maybe 2 plays left before this one's over.
I think you go into a victory formation where maybe Brady's going to take a knee.
We're going to take a knee, and that's going to probably end the ball game. And again, Doug, 27-0. Again, I think if you can ignore the first half and look at the second half, there are a lot of good things to talk about if you're from the Piqua coaching staff. Well, that's the end of the game with the final score, Piqua 27 and Stebbins nothing. We'll be right back. Let's remember you're watching Piqua High School football on the Indian Nation Station, your home for Piqua Athletics. The final score, Piqua 27, Stebbins nothing. You see the making Piqua 4-0, Stebbins 3-1. And again, at halftime it was 7-0. It ended up 27-0. Doug, I tell you what, how about giving us a scoring summary of a game that had most of its excitement in the second half, and also a couple harrowing moments as we had a lot of turnovers, mostly by Stebbins.
Yeah, we did, Dwayne, but I tell you what, the scoring really was dominated by big plays here in the second half. So we had a large, about a 65-yard touchdown run by Medley in the third quarter. And then again, Coleman capped off a 3-minute drive with a touchdown run. And then Tanner Kemp here in the fourth quarter, converted on a big play again, took it into the end zone as well, and led to the 27-0 lead. And again, they're 4-0. They got momentum going into Tip City, which I think is exactly what they wanted to do. They came in the second half, took care of business, and that's what they needed to do because they were a little sloppy in that first half.
Well, again, you mentioned next week they're going to go to Tip City, and that should be a nice ball game. And then they're going to follow up on the next Friday with Sydney, and then it's time for the playoff. And the Indians should be in good shape when it comes to the pairings for the football playoffs. Well, that's the story tonight from Alexander Stadium with the final score, Piqua 27, Stebbins nothing. We'd like to thank the Piqua City Schools, the Piqua Athletic Department, Piqua Head Coach Bill Neese, Athletic Director Chip Hare, our Director A.J. Ganger, Tom Beck, our replay operator, and the students at Piqua High School that helped us with this telecast, brought to you by the Indian Nation Station, your home for Piqua Athletics. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's game. Until next time, this is Dwayne Bachman along with Doug Young saying good night, everybody.
Stop learning what you're